And welcome to Freedom Friday. Today we're going to talk stimulus, second round of stimulus. And there's a few things that I want to point out that we received with the new stimulus bill. So first of all, there was $900 billion that was dispersed into the economy in several different ways. One, you've already received, well, most of you probably have already received your $600 stimulus check. So that's on the surface. We know that went out. Congratulations, hopefully the people that really need it are using it. And for everybody else that didn't really need it, invest it, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is something called the Payment Protection Plan, PPP for short, right? Was in the first stimulus bill, and it was designed for small business owners, and they've gave another $284 billion for small business owners, again in the form of PPP. Now this time it's 300. I think before it was 500 employees and less. Now they've shortened it to 300 employees and less, and it's designed to it's designed for small business owners to pay their employees. Right? That's the incentive of keeping people employed. We're going to give business owners money only if they're paying their employees, and I think you can pay like your rent and some utilities, but the bulk of it is supposed to go to your employees. Now, it's a loan that turns into a grant if you meet all the requirements of dispersing the funds as a small business owner. So it's a good deal, and it really helps, it really stimulates, as long as people are not committing fraud and the money is going to actual small businesses, versus going to Shake Shack and some of these other publicly traded companies that were getting these funds as well. But anyway, so that's the PPP. Okay, now in addition to the $284 billion for the PPP, this time around the government set aside another $20 billion for businesses that are located in low-income neighborhoods. So as an example, let's say that you own a car mechanic shop, and your address of that shop is located in a low-income neighborhood. You would qualify for this additional $20 billion that's set aside just for those small business owners. Okay, so that's good news. Folks that are businesses that are located in lower income neighborhoods. So that's good news for those people. Now, in addition to the PPP, there's something called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is the EIDL, right? Now, and this was also included in the first stimulus, and it's now also included in the second stimulus. And I want to say there's $40 billion for this type of loan. Now, this is a loan that stays a loan, but it's some of the best debt out there, right? It's a 30-year fixed loan, and I believe the interest rate is 3.75. So it's almost like applying for a mortgage. You're not going to get any type of debt like this anywhere out there. So it's really good debt, as long as you're using the debt to blow your business up, right? You're not using this money and buying liabilities. Okay, so just want to make sure we're clear there. Okay, so that's the EIDL. Now, one of the things in the first go around, the first stimulus bill, with this EIDL, was the government promised $10,000 of grant money, regardless of if you qualify for the loan or not, right? Well, that quickly changed to not $10,000 to every business, but instead $1,000 per employee that you had. So if you were a one-person company, you only got $1,000. So some people said, hey, this is not even worth applying. This is bogus. I thought I was going to get 10,000. Screw you. Others said, hey, I want my money. So there's some talk, there's some whispers out there that, let's say you only receive 4,000, because the plan or the program did run out of funding in the last stimulus. So there's talks that if you only receive 4,000 and you were supposed to receive your 10, that you're going to get the $6,000 difference, right? So there's some talk there, and possibly without even reapplying. So there's some talk there. We'll see what comes to fruition. This is still very, very new. All the details haven't been worked out. So we still got to wait around for the SBA. Now, this is all at the federal level. The PPP and the EIDL is at the federal level. But there's something cool just for owners of real estate and tenants that rent from these owners, right? And it's going to be at the state level. I mean, it's part of the $900 billion stimulus package. There's $25 billion set aside for rental assistance for the tenants, right? So if you're a tenant and you're behind on your rent payments, let's say you owe $3,000, there's $25 billion that the government is going to disperse among the states. Okay, bigger states get a bigger slice of the pie, but each state is going to have funds that are allocated strictly for helping owners of rental property and their tenants. Now, the cool thing if you're on the owner side is that you can apply for this money on behalf of your tenant. All your tenant needs to do is sign off, but you would collect the necessary paperwork, the lease, what they owe, all that stuff. You should already have that, and you submit it on behalf of your tenant, and the government or your state is going to pay you directly versus paying your tenant, right? Because think about it. I mean, you got three types of tenants, right? You got the first type that they would get this money, say they owe $3,000, they get the $3,000 rental assistance, and they would legitimately pay what they owe. Okay, that's the first tenant. The second tenant would probably give you half, right? $1,500 to the landlord, $1,500 for me. I'm going shopping, right? And then your third tenant is not going to pay you at all. So government said, okay, we're going to do the right thing by the owners, and we're just going to pay the money directly to them. So again, this is still new. You're going to want to check your state housing authority for the rules, the requirements, when to apply, how to apply, all that information. Just keep checking your state website for that information. But listen, this is a money grab. At the end of the day, there's $900 billion of stimulus floating around. There's additional funds for other sectors, like there's monies for transportation, there's money for live entertainment. If you're in the movies industry, there's money out there. This is the wealth transfer, another one. Okay, so there's money out there. Find a way where you can fit in legitimately. Now, we don't want to do anything that's fraud and all that, but if you have a legitimate gripe or a legitimate reasoning for applying for these funds, go out and get it, okay? Thanks for watching Freedom Friday. Tune in next week.